Hi, this is Roy Worley. Welcome to the interview show that brings on guests from all walks of life. Yeah, it's here that they tell their stories and delve a little deeper into their lives to see what got them where they are. So grab a drink, have a seat, and relax, because this is the Leo Effect.
When was the last time a short movie shook your emotions to the core? When was the last time a short movie caused you to rethink everything you stood for? When was the last time a short movie made you proud to be an American? When was the last time you felt the emotion to stand up and cheer after a short movie? The new short movie, I've Got Your Six, written and directed by Bill Foster, one of the industry's newest and fastest climbing directors, will answer all of those questions. Rarely has there been so much packed into a short movie that when you leave, you'll feel more proud of our American military veterans. A movie that was cast only with American military veterans will have you on the edge of your seat, cheering for our veterans and what makes America great. I've Got Your Six will be hitting the film festival scene soon. Be prepared to drop what you're doing and go see this powerful movie when it comes to your area. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the Leo Effect. Now, today I'm joined by a very special guest. I've been waiting to talk to him for a bit, and here he is. He's going to regale you with his tales and hopefully answer these questions semi-appropriately. We'll see what happens. Anyway, please welcome Cole Howard. How are you, sir?
Man, I'm doing wonderfully. As far as things go well. Yeah.
Nice. You're handling the quarantine sequestration pretty well.
Oh, as far as experiencing a mass global trauma goes, I think I'm doing all right. It's every day's a new adventure, you know?
Yeah. And speaking of the new adventures, we're gonna get into that a little bit later because you and I share a common hobby, and that's
Darn tootin'.
that's down towards the end, and I definitely want to bring that up a little bit because anytime I can call out somebody for it, and besides myself, but the whole reason you're here, let's talk about that. What is it that you do?
What is it that I do? I'm primarily a voiceover actor. I've been in a lot of cool stuff. Most notably, I suppose, I've been on The Dragon Prince and My Little Pony, and I played Spider-Man for Marvel superhero adventures like Beyblade and Dragon Ball Z, all kinds of cool stuff. But that is like it is not only what I do. It's my most favoriteest thing in the entire world is to play make believe behind microphones. It's my whole oeuvre.
That's a great answer, and to put it like that really kind of puts a nail on it, doesn't it?
Sure do. Yeah.
I like that. What is it that made you decide to become a voice actor in the first place?
I mean, as with all things, it's like, you look back and it's a combination of all kinds of different things. But I was thinking about it. The way I think about it mostly is it all started around the dinner table at my house and with my family. Everybody was just kind of into doing shtick and doing bits and doing accents and stuff. So that there was just never a shortage of like, you're talking to like, don't do that. Just, hey, clean your plates or whatever. And then, mom would be like, oh, would you please get your feet off the table, for God's sake? You're not living in a porta-john, are you? Get out, that kind of stuff. And so we all just kind of shticked at each other, especially my mom and dad and myself. And then, as we just kept doing that, at some point, my mom had the great idea of insisting I go and do some theater. And getting involved in community theater where I grew up in Edmonton, professional theater, as a matter of fact, in Edmonton at a very young age was so critical. Just spending hours backstage with other actors, just doing bits and having a great time. And at some point, one of the older actors, he said, you should do voiceover stuff. And I was like, what? I'm like, that's a cool idea. And I took a couple workshops and I just fell in love. And I was like, well, I think that's it. I think this is what I need to do now for the rest of forever. And and so far, I found a way to make that a reality.
That's fantastic. So would you say that your family was your primary inspiration?
Yeah, without question. I mean, not only my inspiration and like legitimately, like my family is full of hilarious people. Like my older sister is a marine biologist. She's brilliant. One of the funniest people I've ever met in my entire life. Just absolutely cripplingly hilarious. My little sister is a dive instructor, and she is just wicked whip smart. My mom and my dad, like I said, all bits all the time. And growing up around that, and especially I was the middle child of two girls. And so like I always had an audience. There was always somebody. This is one of the, this is tangential, but I feel like this is one of the biggest things about this moment that we're living through right now. And I don't want to talk about it too much, but the thing I miss the most is just having an audience. I like making people watch me do silly things and do silly voices. It's entertaining for me. Like I like getting paid to act, but there is never a better voiceover session than the one you get a room laugh in. When you get the whole room to go, that was funny. When you say a funny thing, maybe it's during a take, maybe it's between takes or something, but when you get a room laugh, you fly out of that session.
Absolutely.
It's the best. Yeah, it's the best. So that was a long walk for a short answer. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I like the scenic route. It's beautiful this time of year.
Right.
So would you say then that when you told your family that you were going to do this professionally, that they supported your decision pretty well?
I mean, yeah, without question. My mom was just an absolute champion for it the whole way through. So I did a bunch of voiceover workshops, and of course I was a kid. I was 14 or 15 or so, and I wasn't making any money. So my mom, paid for me to take a couple voiceover workshops, and eventually I lived in Edmonton, Alberta at the time, and there's a studio in Calgary, Alberta that does a lot of dubbing that comes through the prairies anyways. And so I managed to get an audition down there, and I have the warmest memories of driving down. It's about a 3-hour drive from Edmonton, driving down and like listening to music in the car with my mom and looking out the window at the rolling prairie landscapes. And then when we got closer and closer to Calgary, she's like, "What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What voices are you going to do? Like, what are you?" And this is so classically me, but I had no idea. I hadn't thought about it at all. I was just like, I don't know. I was like, I guess I'll go in and just like, just go in and do like this kind of, rat kind of thing, do this kind of thing. And then, and then just, I don't know. And like, I hadn't thought about it past any of that. And my mom was like, she pulled over. She said, "No." She's like, let's talk. What are you going to do? And we came up with like a little plan, and, there was some structure there, but my mom and my dad, my whole family, like, I think they were used to just seeing me run around and be a performer. And I think there was no doubt in anyone's mind that I was going to at least pursue it. And then once I started getting success, I started recording more and more at like 16 and stuff. And I started actually doing it professionally. And then when I moved out to Vancouver and I really started doing it professionally, I don't think anyone was like shocked. I think everyone was like, yeah, okay, thank goodness. He's someone else's problem now. That's not entirely true, but it's similar. I don't think everyone in my family, they're a fantastic group of people, and they saw when we were passionate about things. And when we were passionate about things, they were just like, yeah, okay, go and do it. Just stay out of trouble, and you could call me if you need something.
Yeah.
It's really lucky. It's an incredibly fortunate situation for sure.
Absolutely. It's so great to have a support system like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, you gotta thank your entire family for that, because if they hadn't have supported you, you probably wouldn't have pursued that career, and we wouldn't have such amazing things to watch.
I mean, I genuinely believe that I would have done it. I would have done it come hell or high water. I think that's one of the things about performing that I think often gets lost in what it looks like, right? It always looks like a you always think of it as like there's glamour, and there's it's the entertainment industry, and there's this idea of like the marquee lights up. But I think the best performances and the performances that I resonate with are ones that they come from like a yearning to do it. I want to perform. I need to perform. It's not that I love doing it, but without it, without doing performance, I don't know what my life is, and that's a problem. But it's a problem that I've come to terms with. Sort of.
All right.
Sort of.
Wow. That's great, though. I mean, at least you pursued something that you're so passionate about, and it shows in your work. It really does.
Thanks.
And
Yeah,
when
I
you
hope
were
so.
Yeah, when you were talking about how your mom pulled over and you were
Mhm.
discussing your plan and everything, that kind of lends itself to what I'm kind of wondering is how do you now come up with character voices or practice the voices? Like, do you just wing it like you were planning in the beginning, or do you have a method now?
Yeah, that's a great question. It depends. I think if you're talking about auditions, they sometimes come with different things. Sometimes it's a block of text, sometimes it's a picture, and that's really informative. That'll tell you a lot about what the character sounds like.
If he's got a little bit of a nasally sort of thing, or something. If he's got a big nose, maybe he's got something like this. Or
Maybe he sounds congested. I don't know. And sometimes I love when my favorite auditions though, and are the ones where there was a show that was going through Vancouver a while ago, and every audition you'd get was like they'd send you the name of the character and a description, and they'd just say, "Just go nuts, just do something that makes us laugh." Like, it's like, what is that? That is the coolest piece of direction you could possibly give me. Just do something that makes us laugh. And I remember I got a Christmas elf. He was like supposed to be like a Christmas elf, right? So
I went in behind my microphone and I did like, oh, I'm an elf. Oh boy. Oh gee, Santa Claus, whatever.
and I was like, wait a minute, everyone in town is going to do that. So what's funny? And I was just like, oh no, I'm going to do that, Jason Statham. So it's like, no, Santa Claus. Are you kidding me, mate? It's like, no, I was at your wedding. You know me. And I ended up getting that part, and it's like it's one of my favorite stories of all time because it was one of those opportunities to just do something stupid, because that's like cartoons, man, like just doing something outside of the box. It was so cool. So
Absolutely.
do I have a process? I don't know. I mean, maybe sometimes, but oftentimes it's just you get up in for me at least, sometimes I just get up in a mood and I read a description and I go, okay, cool. And I'll stand behind a microphone and muck around with it for like 45 minutes and nothing interesting comes out. And then 5.5 hours later, I'm having a nap and something will hit me and it's like, oh, let's go do something. But that's not great advice. It's just,
But that's your process, yeah.
yeah. Ooh,
Now,
sounds
you've
chilling.
done a variety of voices, and even since you've been on the show right here now, you've done like 5 different ones. So, do you have a particular style that comes more naturally to you?
I think my strongest quality is I love acting, and I come from a strong theater background, so I like the opportunity to play something serious, and I like the opportunity to play something with conviction and seriousness, like that is, and I think sliding into that is like a really it's a cool thing, especially in the world of cartoon voices, which I mean I would love.
to always be playing somebody wacky. Like if I had my choice, if I had my druthers, I'd be playing this guy all the time.
But that's not where a majority of the work is, and there's also a ton of really good actors in the city who have been doing that for a lot longer than me, who are better at it than me. So the bread and butter, I think, is to find like a really earnest and sincere quality. So if I'm talking about like what kind of voice I do professionally that I work with the most, it's probably just mine, and it's this really kind of sincere tone. But I mean, I love doing accents. I love doing silly voices. And if I had my druthers, that's all I'd be doing.
Well,
Because
there you go.
accents are like my love language with my family. It's like, whenever you're in trouble, it's like slide into an accent, you'll be in a little less trouble.
Now that's some good advice.
Well, yeah, you know what? If smoke them if you got them. If it works, work it.
Right. Now, is it strange hearing your voice coming from cartoon characters?
No, it's a privilege. It's an honor, and it's like getting to be Spider-Man on Marvel Spider-Man shorts is a dream come true. And I got to know the animation director quite well, and on occasion I'd go into the studio and I'd see what they were working on, and you see the hours and the commitment and the time and the energy that goes into making these things from this team of extraordinary artists and creatives who are dedicating their time to making this cool. And you walk in and they're like, hey, it's the guy who showed up for 4 hours to record 5 episodes. And everyone's like, oh, dude, it's cool to meet you. Like, wow. And it's like, are you kidding me? You guys are doing magic here. Like you guys are taking these storyboards and these concepts and turning them into something incredible. Like,
Right.
and then I get to lend myself to that. Amazing. Like it's a gift. So I mean, like, you know, I've been watching my dumb face perform for years. So like hearing it come out of a cartoon is kind of a relief, you know? It's like,
Right.
that's that idiot I see in the mirror every day. It's nice to hear it come out of somebody who doesn't look like him.
Right. Oh, I knew I would come up with a practical use for that voice.
Exactly. Yeah. One of these days.
And have you done any kind of conventions or anything?
Not so much. Yeah, not so much. I don't know. I dabble with the idea. I'd love to do it. I'd love to be invited to conventions.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to go because I like interacting with people about anything. You know, it doesn't
Right.
have to be about voiceover or anything. It's just nice to see people and hear people. But yeah, not so much. It's something I'd like to do, but also I'm like quite lazy and I'm quite a homebody. So
Okay.
you know, like finding a convention and then like getting myself to it. These are the challenges, and you know that's like two things. Oof, that's a busy day for me.
Those two whole things.
Two whole things. Can you believe it?
Do you think you would freak out or nerd out or just be super excited if you saw somebody come up as one of your characters, like in full cosplay?
I mean, yeah, I would absolutely lose it. You know, there's so much about the internetosphere that is kind of like it can be a little much, you know, and a little
Mm-hmm.
toxic and a little strange here and there. But you get to interact with these people who are impacted by your work. Like the Dragon Prince fan base is rabid. They're amazing, and they're so they just love the show and they love what we did in it. And like when I got on Dragon Prince, I was stoked. You know, because I was like, oh great, you know, I have a cool job on this cool show. And then once it came out and you realize that it had, you know, the impact that it did, you look at your 2 days in the studio and you look at these people who are drawing pictures of your character and you're just it's amazing. It's awesome. There's nothing quite like it. So yeah, I would probably lose my mind a bit. Yeah.
I think it'd be pretty cool.
It's super cool. Yeah.
Is there
much
any particular person that you would really like to work with?
Oof, yeah. I mean, all my friends in the city again, primarily.
That's
You know,
fair.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, there are bucket list people for sure, like Los Angeles types and stuff. But we're uniquely privileged and uniquely talented here in Vancouver, and there are people in this city who I've looked up to for many years, and I've worked with them on occasion here and there. But man, I don't know if there's a better feeling than walking into a room of some of my Vancouver like idols. Like, you know, Jason Simpson's a great example. You
Oh,
spoke to him.
absolutely.
Like, you know, he's a guy that, I mean, I've worked with him before, but I dream about working with Jason. Like, it's a blast, and it's so real, and they're excellent actors and great people. It's super cool. So in terms of like bucket list people, Mark Hamill. Otherwise, just all my homies here, man.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. I could buy that. I like it. And so, with all of that being said, do you have anything in the works or anything coming up that people should watch out for?
I'm trying to think of what I can and cannot say.
Yeah.
I know that the Marvel Superhero Adventures latest season is just about to be finished, being put up on YouTube. So that was 4 amazing seasons of that. So that's wrapping up, I think. But those are going up, I think, this week. I was told, but we'll see. Outside of that, there's other things. You know, this is always the question where it's like, I'm sure there's something, but I can't think of anything.
You know, the disclosure agreements tend to put a dampener on those too, you know.
Yeah. It's a thing you really don't want to mess up.
Right.
You know, especially now in this, you know, in the current world, you know, you gotta be careful. But
yeah,
who knows? I'm just looking forward to, you know, looking forward to seeing what comes next.
Well, let's talk about something that you probably probably shouldn't mess up. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll go with that. So this is kind of like a fun like Quizlet section to see more about you. The fans get to know a little bit of the guy behind the voice kind of thing. So,
Okay.
what kind of hobbies do you do, and what kind of stuff do you enjoy?
Okay. Again, this is easy. Lots of video games, and then lots of Dungeons and Dragons. As much as I can, anyways. You got to be careful. It's easy to kind of have that take over your life. And then I mostly just take care of my cat, who's my best friend. He's my homeboy. I love rock climbing.
Nice.
Which is an amazing pastime. It's been an avenue to meet some great friends and get in incredible shape and do cool things, like climb rocks, for instance. Yeah. Outside of that, scuba diving. I love scuba diving. My little sister and I just oh my gosh, we're the happiest when we're just underwater blowing bubbles together. It's a hoot.
That's awesome. You're just
Yeah.
all over the place.
All over the place. Yeah. Up mountains, under the water, behind microphones. Ladies and gentlemen, Cole Howard can do it all.
And do you have a particular go-to snack or food or restaurant that you like to frequent?
Yeah. I've been on a massive fried chicken kick. There's a really good fried chicken joint in Vancouver called Download Chicken, and they do an incredibly good chicken, like fried chicken sandwich. And I've been meaning to order it, but yeah. So I'm gonna say like fried chicken has a really special place in my heart, at least right now. And I love baking banana bread. I love baking banana bread because I always have bananas, but I never go through them fast enough. So I'm just like, well, I guess you're gonna become banana bread. This is your destiny.
This is what you were born to do.
What you were born to be, Chiquita. Get in my loaf pan.
Do you have any special talents that go beyond voice acting that maybe people don't know about?
Special talents. I mean,
Yeah, like
no,
can you
not
snap really fast?
What's that?
Can you snap really fast?
No, I'm a fairly good whistler. I like whistling. I like whistling with vibrato. My grandmother was a real whistler, and we always kind of like lightly teased her about walking around the house, just kind of like see if I can do it. It's like she's like some sort of Disney bird. And so I don't know. I do that a lot.
You really are a very good whistler. I enjoyed
thank
that.
you.
That was pleasant on the ear holes.
Oh, good. And my older sister would disagree, but that's her problem. That's her problem, which I've been saying for 31 years. She's been my older sister, and I've been a pain in her neck the entire time.
Well, consistency is key.
Consistency is key. Yeah, nothing great was ever done without a little adversity, sis.
Well, speaking on that degree, with you being a thorn in your sister's proverbial side, as it were, do you yourself have any pet peeves that people just kind of annoy you with?
Oh, it's a difficult question because, yeah, there's tons of things that needle on me, but I don't know how many of them are like valid. Like I'll get irked by like internet comments, and that's not a cool thing to do. And mostly my pet peeves largely come. I'll tell you what, the worst thing you can do in front of me to disendear yourself to me, if that is a word, and I don't think it is, but it is now. The thing you can do that will absolutely make me think that you're a piece of junk is treat service staff poorly. I hate it. Man, when you see somebody I'm all about your pleases, your thank yous, your how are yous, just if there is anything to be gained by not being polite, I have no idea what it is. Just be really nice to everybody. If you're really polite and really nice to everybody, you have nothing to lose. I don't understand people who are like, I don't have time for that. It's like, server will come by and be like, here's your bill or whatever, and they don't look up from their food. Or like take your headphones off when you're talking to somebody. Oh boy, yeah. Well, turns out I have a lot of pet peeves. Look at me go.
Yeah, but that's just respectful, and that's respectable. I like that. That's a very good answer.
Well, it takes no time. It takes no time, but you get to, you can make someone's day better. It's just a win-win. And anybody who doesn't see it that way, it's like, I don't have time to be nice to my barista. It's like, well, then you don't have time to drink coffee, sir. You should be, I don't know. You should be doing something else.
Right? Oh, man. So my final official question for you is, what advice would you have for a new voice actor that's just setting out in this business?
Cool. I love this question. And I think I touched on it a little earlier. It's twofold. I think the first is, know that if you want to do it and you feel it, and I don't think I need to be more clear about what it is, but if you feel like you must do it, then learn how to act and take your time to learn how to act, whatever that means. Take improv workshops, take workshops, open yourself up to new avenues of feeling empathy and feeling for people, because that's what it always is, this is like super hippy dippy actor nonsense, but it is true. The performances that resonate with us are the ones that are good mirrors. We see ourselves in this, we hear ourselves in this character. There's something about this character that's relatable. And if you take the time to develop your muscle of empathy, then you can recognize what it feels like to lose your father. You can empathize what it feels like to lose, a beloved cat, or what it feels like to get married, the joy of it, like there's, and I would say it's not about the craft of acting, it's about the feeling behind it. If you can feel something and you can perform that feeling, you can be a marvelous actor. And if you can be a marvelous actor, you can be a marvelous voiceover actor.
That is the most amazing answer. Like that's some straight up Arcanum stuff right there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, as I indeed, I charmed you. I cast a spell upon you.
the it. And if anybody's listening and you don't understand what that means, you're just gonna have to watch the Dragon Prince. So
watch the Dragon Prince, please.
Shameless plug.
No, very shameful, but I love it.
And that's how we do that. So in this last few moments of the show, I kind of want to do what I like to do. It's along those same lines. It's a shameless plug. And if you would like to tell the listeners all your various social medias and possible websites and things like that, so they can go click and follow along, that would be phenomenal.
Cool. I mean, you're welcome to follow me on Twitter. I believe I'm at Cole MF Howard on Twitter. The MF stands for Metal Face, if my grandmother's listening. But it's a fairly unfiltered view, especially these days, of where I'm at. So it's less about my professional stuff. No, there's tons of my professional stuff, but it is if you want to get an unfiltered Cole, oh boy, go to my Twitter. Outside of that, you can find me on Instagram. I haven't been posting too much these days because I'm just in my house. But that's at cmfh.esq. Find me on LinkedIn. I won't communicate with you there, but you can try. Yeah. Outside of that, no, man. I'm mostly just limited to Twitter these days, and just howling into the hurricane that is Twitter.
Right on.
What a blast. Yeah. Or I'm sitting around playing Final Fantasy IX or Dungeons and Dragons, which is far more productive.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very good use of your time.
And how?
Well, Mr. Metalface, I'd like to say thank you so much for coming on the show and talking to me today.
Got me with that one. Oh, you got me mid-sip. You almost got a spit take out of me. I know you wanted it. Not today.
Well, what the listeners don't know is that we're speaking over Zoom, so I can see you very clearly.
I know. I subjected you to my face for this entire thing.
I was awaiting that moment this whole time. No,
I know. I could feel it. I just didn't know how you were gonna get it, but you almost had me with my metal face reference.
Right.
All right.
But I really do appreciate you coming on the show, Cole, and talking to me.
Appreciate you having me, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime at all. And who knows, maybe we will collaborate some hobby stuff together with some Dungeons and Dragons, and the listeners will have something else to hear. So we'll see.
Yeah, it'd be cool to go to space together,
Absolutely. Go travel the stars.
Go travel the stars, among the stars. What a treat.
Man. Well, I really appreciate your time, Ray, man. Thank you for this.
Absolutely. Not a problem. Yeah. And thank you to all the listeners who tuned in to check this out. I hope you enjoyed the show and you click all the likes and the bells and the whistles on Cole's social medias and follow along on Twitter. He's doing some great stuff. There's more stuff coming and you don't want to miss any of it. I promise. But thank you all very, very much for listening, and we'll see you all next time.
Yeah, be kind to one another, everybody. Be good.
Oh, now that was an awesome interview. Thanks so much for listening. You all are so great. And don't forget to head to Facebook, Insta, and Twitter and follow The Leo Effects. If you want to hear some comedy and ridiculous voices, check out Shattered Dungeons on YouTube and all other places podcasts can be heard. And you'll hear me voicing crazy characters, usually pretty terribly. So thank you so much. You all are the absolute best. and we will see you all on the next episode.